Hi guys, so it's been a while since I've done any kit bashing. I've still got lots and lots of Warhammer stuff, and here's one little box I've got full of full of all sorts really. So yeah, we've got a few of these chaps which I've never really sort of assembled or played. They're the Blood Bowl guys. Obviously orcs, because obviously as everyone knows, or everyone knows my channel, knows that I love orcs. So yeah, most of the stuff in here probably is orc and orc related. There's a few other bits and pieces. Yeah, there's the odd Space Marine. I haven't got many of these, but I've got this chap. Obviously he's nice and big and chunky. And he looks like he'd make a great paladin, because obviously all the nice chunky armour he's got. So this is the guy I normally use to sort of do a size comparison when I'm building things. And as you can see, he's a little bit bigger. But that's fine, because this guy can be a Goliath. And Goliaths are, well, they are pretty big. So I need to find him a weapon and probably a shield. Yeah, so this is a token from the Blood Bowl. It's quite large. But yeah, I think that would look quite good as a shield. Yeah, so looking for weapons. Obviously, the only problem is a lot of this stuff, because it is the Warhammer stuff, and obviously the Warhammer orcs, they all seem to like to have guns. Some of them do have these sort of smallish weapons, small swords and sort of pickaxey whatsy things. But yeah, I really want a big, massive sword. So I'm probably going to have to 3D print that, but that's fine. That's, well, the fun of having a 3D printer. So this is the guy, obviously I've taken his arms off. And that's a case of taking off that sort of jetpack at the back. Like anything in this sort of hobby, it's the right tool for the right job. So yeah, I'm going to use a saw. I've been doing this I think for about 2 years now. How I've still got all my fingers, who knows. But yeah, right tool for the right job. And perseverance I always find. And yeah, it seemed to work a trick. There's probably a lot better tools out there. But if there is, I haven't got them. Yeah, so I've got the snips, I've got a scalpel, and I've got a sword. So that seemed to be sword. No, I've got a saw. That seemed to be best. Although these figures, the plastic is pretty soft. So for everything else, I am using my little cutters to basically cut bits off. Mainly because I think I was quite lucky with the saw, in the fact that I still have all my fingers, and a desk. So yeah, so using the scalpel and the cutters, I'm going to get the rest of the bits off. There's quite a few bits on him that aren't quite sort of paladin-like. So obviously these tubes that are coming out the back of his legs, yeah, I don't think you'd see many paladins with that. So say this guy is going to be a Goliath Paladin, which is okay because I think they're about 7 to 8 feet tall, which this guy is probably going to be in sort of D&D sort of size. So the other things I've got from Warhammer, which again I bought these a good year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago, never used. I can't even remember what these guys are called. You guys might be able to remember what they are. But they're big brutes looking things. Again, these guys have got some nice chunky armour. But yeah, it's the head I'm going to use of him. So obviously this base, or the miniature, I glued it to the base. Again, this would have been over a year. But I've got some sort of some de-gluer, which I've never really used much before. But it's a case of just putting loads of that on and then leaving it. And then it should just pop off. So we'll see if that does. So again, yeah, this guy, obviously this sort of machine gun or flamethrower that he's got attached to his arm, doesn't quite fit in with my D&D. I know you can get artificers. Artificers? An artificer? You know what I mean. It's a guy that makes trinkets and all kinds of weird and wonderful things. So he probably could attach a flamethrower to a paladin's arm. But I'm a bit old school when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I like my D&D without any guns. Just purely sort of shields, swords, spears, poison, all that kind of good stuff. So obviously I've got another little bits box here, and this is the wizkids sprues bits box. Bits and pieces from their sort of miniatures, because everything you get from the wizkids, they tend to have like a few heads, a few arms, so you can swap bits about. Well, obviously in this case you can see I've got the whole figure here. Obviously one that I didn't ever complete, but I like his cloak, so yeah, we're going to nab that off him and then he can go back in the bits box cloakless, because yeah, the cloak seems to be the perfect size. There's a few bits missing, but I'm going to use some green stuff later on just to go over any sort of missing gaps, holes, and well, bits that need green stuff. So yeah, so this is the sword I printed out using my anycubic Photon M3. Printed out a few swords. This is the one that I liked the most. The only downside to this sword is the handle. It's a little bit on the skinny side, but the actual sword itself was one of the best swords that I saw. So yes, I've gone with it, and again I'm going to use the green stuff just to sort of bulk out the handle. And yeah, again with this guy, the head, obviously I could just stick the head straight on, but then he kind of looks like he's sort of, well, sunken into his big bit of armour. So yeah, a bit of green stuff for the neck. Haven't got to be too precise or delicate because you can't really see a whole lot of that. And yeah, I think he fits well. I mean, his head, if anything, still looks a bit too big for the armour. But nah, that's fine. So yeah, just a case of reattaching the arms. I do put this arm on and then attach the shield, but in the end I do actually take the arm off and just change it a little bit. I didn't like the position of it. So the other arm, I kind of want it sort of above his head but bent backwards, so his weapon is almost resting on his sort of shoulders at the back. So yeah, again, using the cutters, this stuff does cut really well. So yes, you don't have to go out and use a saw to saw bits up like I did at the beginning. Yeah, obviously got him attached to a bit of cork just because I find this the best way when I come to do some painting. Yeah, as you can see there, the glue, I think I must have a hole at the end of the nozzle because rather than the glue coming out nice and sort of, well, in thin bits, it sort of dribbled out like like something that dribbles a lot. So yeah, so you can see I've got his arm bent over the back. I moved the shield just a little bit, and yeah, I'm kind of pleased with how this looks. Yeah, obviously a few bits here and there that do need the green stuff just to fill in, basically where I've cut it and then re-glued it. So obviously you've got a bit here in the elbow, and then you'll see in a minute I do a little bit more to the cloak. But yeah guys, if you do any kit bashing, let me know in the description what kind of things you've kit bashed, or what you may even want to see me have a go at kit bashing. The chances are most things I'm going to kit bash probably will be kit bashed from Warhammer into D&D. Again, there's any of those that know and watched my channel for the last couple of years. I started off by doing tons and tons of stuff with Warhammer, but never actually played the game. So yeah, for about the first year and a half this channel was going, tons of Warhammer stuff, never played a single game. So that's kind of why I am leaning more towards the D&D side of stuff, purely because I play D&D. So yeah, so this guy, he's nice and big and chunky, come over from Warhammer, and yeah, he's going to be a Goliath Paladin in D&D, or I could use him as one of the enemies and he could just be a guard or a captain, obviously for the baddies. So yeah, as you can see, obviously primed in white, just because if I want to do any speed paints, I find they do go better over obviously lighter colours, especially white. And then for his metal, yeah, I had a bit of a pain with this guy, mainly because there's almost too much metal. And yeah, I painted him obviously in a darker silver first, is what I kind of do now with any kind of silver, and then go over with lighter silver afterwards. But because he's made up so much of the metal, yeah, I kind of spent a lot of time flapping about, changing him, trying to add highlights. Then I was going over and doing washes, then I was adding more highlights, and yeah, basically I spent far too long painting this guy for the end result. The end result is, yeah, it's alright, I don't mind it. It's not fantastic, it's not great, but the amount of time I spent on him, it should have looked a whole lot better. And so I'm putting this down to the fact that obviously most of him is metal. And it just looked too much, so I was trying to break it up by doing some weird and wonderful things with highlights. So a lot of it I have not filmed, and again, this is mainly because whenever I am painting, I do generally hold the figure quite close to my face, obviously because I wear glasses. So I've got lovely steady hands, but sometimes I just can't see for toffee. So yeah, I have to hold him quite close to my face, and obviously that makes it a bit difficult to, well, to try and sort of get the camera in a position that can see him. So that's whenever I am doing these filming bits of me painting him on camera, I do feel very cack-handed because I'm probably holding him not in a way that I would if I wasn't trying to film him. So yeah, as you can see, obviously doing the lighter silver over the dark, I quite like this effect because it does obviously add quite a few sort of shady areas and a little bit more inconsistency with the silver, so it doesn't look too sort of uniformed. But once I had completed him in this way, yeah, he just looked like too much silver. So yeah, I spent the next 2-3 hours just flapping about. So obviously I have still got quite a lot of bits and pieces, especially say the Warhammer stuff that I can use to kit bash. Yeah, let me know obviously if there's anything you want to see me kit bash, or if you've done anything, yeah, let me know, 'cause that might give me some ideas, inspiration. I am also now back into saving all my sort of like recyclable stuff, just so I can do some kit bashing, because again, that's something I've not done for many moons, and that's always fun, especially if I make something with no real idea of what I'm going to make. So I just grab some bits and then sort of, well, wing it and see what I can make from those. I will be doing some live streams soon, guys. I know I did say that a few weeks ago, but obviously with the school holidays and that, I've not been able to do them at the moment. But next week I am looking at doing some live streams. So yeah, again, in the comments, let me know what would you like to see me do in the live streams. In regards to timings, I'm either going to do them early in the morning. This is obviously all UK times, so they'll either be done early in the morning, talking sort of like 9-10 o'clock in the morning, or they'll be done late evening, and again 9-10 o'clock in the evening UK time. So if you have a preference on which time's best, yeah, let me know in the comments and what you'd like me to make. And what I might do is see what sort of comments get the most, as in time wise, and that could be when I do the live streams. And yeah, and the same with what sort of stuff you want to see me do, whether it's kit bashing, just general painting, bit of scratch bashing, or well, or trying to make something out of sprues. Who knows? Yeah, leave things in the comments, guys. You know I like to read whatever you're writing. So yeah, back to this guy. I say honestly, I was going backward and forwards, doing washes, doing highlights, doing normal colours, and yeah, I got to a stage where it was like, no, step away from this. He's not getting any better. Let's just leave him to a bit that I kind of liked him, and this was pretty much it. So yeah, there's a bit of highlight in here, obviously some washes here, bit of all sorts, and yeah, just a case of cutting him off, sticking him on the clear bases, just because I prefer the clear bases, because then you can see whatever sort of terrain he's on afterwards. And yeah, there you go, he's done, and he's definitely a big chunky guy, which I like. So I love paladins, and I do like them to be chunky. So here's my sort of normal warrior. So my warrior guy is around about the 6 foot mark. So as you can see, the Goliath is definitely towering over him, and he's definitely more the 7-8 feet, which he kind of is in D&D. So yeah, cheers patrons and sponsors for helping support the channel. There's links at the end, guys, if you want to become a patron and help me out and get to see sort of early progress pictures of what I'm currently working on. Okay guys, thumbs up, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. You all take care. See you in the next one. Bye for now.